the Yorkshire Dales National Park, an area of outstanding natural beauty, rich history and diverse contemporary culture. It's an area that's inspired me over the years, and hopefully it's inspired you too. During British Summertime 2016, we aim to document this iconic landscape with unique and awe-inspiring photographs. This short introductory film will explain exactly how we're going to do it. Welcome to the Yorkshire Dales Photographic Grid Project 2016, brought to you by Marsh Photography and Yorkshire Photo Walks. I would describe myself as a photographic artist and tutor. In 2014 I graduated from the University of Westminster's MA in Photographic Studies course, and in 2012 I set up my own photographic tutoring business, Yorkshire Photo Walks, which still continues to go strongly to this day. I've also exhibited my personal project work in London and up here in the north, and I've had my photographs used by various commercial and media organisations, including the BBC. I've been inspired by the Yorkshire Dales from a very early age. I took my first ever photograph at the age of 6 years old at Bolton Abbey with my parents' throwaway camera, and I suppose I caught the photographic bug there and then. Since then I've explored the Yorkshire Dales in much detail, and I've always been struck by the diversity, from the unique barns up in Swaledale to the fantastic limestone country around Mappin. As well as that, you've also got the industries that thrive in the Dales, like the farming industry and also the tourism industry. I see the Yorkshire Dales Photographic Grid Project as being a document or a cross-section of all of these industries, and also the people that visit as well. Just like me, I'm sure that many of you will have stories of the Yorkshire Dales and how they inspire you. The Yorkshire Dales Photographic Grid Project is going to be a documentation of these stories, from one person's interpretation to the next. A photographic grid project is a way of documenting or mapping an area in photographs, usually in a regimented way. The first ever photographic grid project took place in Portland, Oregon in the United States back in 1995. Since then they've made it onto British shores in various different forms. Notable projects include the Birmingham Grid Project, Bradford, Halifax and Manchester, amongst others. Nothing though quite as ambitious as the Yorkshire Dales National Park Grid Project that hopefully you're going to help us with. What I've done is divided the national park into 134 separate areas. Each area is approximately 8 kilometres square. What you're tasked with doing as an applicant of the project is to make a photograph on, or as close to as possible, the points at which the blue kilometre grid lines on an OS map intersect within your allocated area. It may sound a little complicated, so hopefully as the film goes on you will understand a bit more of what's expected of you. If you're yet to apply to take part in the Yorkshire Dales Photographic Grid Project, you can do so by going to yorkshirephotowalks.com/grid project. On there, navigate to our project map page and select an area that inspires you in the Yorkshire Dales National Park. Make a note of the number of that area and fill out our application form by clicking on the link below. Once your application has been processed and your area allocated, you will receive an applicant information pack. This will include a list of details outlining what is expected of you to take part in the project, a map with your grid points shown, and also a list of 10-digit grid reference numbers allocated to the points on your map. It is then your job to go out into the Dales and photograph on, or as close to as possible, each of those grid points. We're not looking for photographs of those grid points. We actually want you to stand or physically place your camera on that point to take a photograph. What you need to take part in this project is an OS map, preferably a 1 to 25,000 Explorer map to give you as much detail as possible, and one of these, a camera. You can also download OS maps to your smartphone or mobile device to be able to search for the exact grid reference and navigate to your point really easily. Some of the areas that you cover as part of the Yorkshire Dales Grid project will be very bleak, and some may be even inaccessible. The idea of the project is that you take a photograph on or as close to as possible where the grid lines on your map intersect. In some areas, if it falls on a body of water or an inaccessible rock face, what we're going to ask you to do is to take a photograph from a safe location nearby. In the production of the project, we'd also like you to consider the access of certain areas of land. If one of your points falls on private land, for example, please make sure that you either gain permission from the landowner to photograph there, or if you can't gain permission, please notify us in your project submission form. Also, if you are taking any photographs in the Dales that contain recognisable people, i.e. you can see their faces, please make sure that they have given you permission to take their photograph. Once you've taken all of your photographs and are happy with them, the time will come to submit them to be a part of the project. As part of the applicant information pack, you'll find a photograph submission form. What we would like you to do is fill this in and send it along with your photographs to photowalksyorks@gmail.com. All of the relevant technical information about sending the photographs and what format they should be in can be found in the information document as part of the application pack. This project has been a long time in the planning, and now it's down to you, the inspirational photographers of the Yorkshire Dales National Park, to really make it happen. Whether you're an amateur photographer or a professional photographer, please feel free to take part. We're not looking for absolute perfection, although we would like a certain level of quality in photographs. The making of this project will not just be in the diversity of photographs that we receive as part of the project, but it will also be in the diversity of the people taking part, from all aspects, all backgrounds, and all areas of the Yorkshire Dales. For me, photography is all about exploration. It's about finding new things to photograph and finding new stories to tell through your images. This project is a way of doing that. It will be a cross-section of the Yorkshire Dales National Park, from the farming industry to the tourism industry and everything in between. The Yorkshire Dales National Park is an extremely wide area to cover, and hopefully it will really show off to not just locals but to people who want to visit the Yorkshire Dales in future, a real documentation of what this wonderful place is all about. I'd just like to finish off with a note on copyright, because I have been asked that in the lead up to the project beginning. Each and every photographer that takes part in the project will keep the copyright of the photographs that they produce. The project is a not-for-profit project, so we're not looking to gain anything other than a body of work that represents this wonderful landscape. So all that leaves me to say now is please get involved in the project if you have any interest in photography in the Yorkshire Dales National Park, because it does have the potential to make Yorkshire Dales history. I look forward to seeing your photographs soon. Thank you. For more information about the project, you can visit yorkshirephotowalks.com/grid project. On here you'll also find a list of useful links that will help you to get inspired to take part in the project. You can also follow us across all social media platforms. The Yorkshire Dales Photographic Grid Project, brought to you by Marsh Photography and Yorkshire Photowalks, providing expert photographic tuition in inspirational Yorkshire locations.